Hey cuties, it's your girl Gabby Gabs. Welcome back to my channel. I know I haven't been making videos in forever and I know that you miss me. I miss you too. But I am here in the beautiful Japan. Like I just randomly moved here. I didn't tell anybody. And yeah, like I just moved here in the middle of a pandemic. Leave it up to me because that's so Gabby. People have been asking me, you know, how come I came here, what got me to move here. So this entire video is about my big move to Japan. Okay, boom. So first, some context. I, like any other Trini, you know, dedicated my life to going to university, you know, studying a field that I was interested in, bettering myself, getting a whole career. And then I realized it wasn't making any sense because my highest paying job was as an advertising executive at 19 years old, where I was making $6,000. Now imagine that was my highest paying job in Trinidad. Not to mention, advertising and events, which is what I specialize in, are two of the top 10 most stressful jobs in the world. And trust me, it lives up to its name. So after a very unfulfilling career in advertising and events, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be a full-time model. And sweetie, it was just like so cute of me to think that I could make ends meet as a full-time model. Yes, I would get shoots, yes, I would get bookings, but it was never enough to make like actual ends meet. Like, I'm so grateful for all the people I've worked with, Emma and Marlon and Abby and all the great people that I've met in Trinidad. But honestly, I was charging $1,200 for a day's work. Mind you, there is a comedian on Instagram, one of all of our faves. I asked him for a quote. He said $2,000 for 15 minutes. I was like, I am clearly in the wrong profession. Mind you, at that very low rate of $1,200 for the day, there were still some designers who had a problem paying me that much. Because I legit did a shoot for a designer who has a huge store and she's talking about her $1 million wedding, this and that, and has the goal to pay me $300 for a 12-hour shoot. Anyway, that's a whole next story for a whole next time. So moving on, I was in California by my aunt and I was telling her, you know, I'm trying to be a full-time model, I don't know, blah blah blah. So she's like, okay, what are you gonna do if it doesn't work out? I'm like, well, naive me didn't think so far ahead. She's like, what are you gonna do if it doesn't work out? You have been telling me it's not making you enough money, you know, what are you gonna do? Are you just gonna stay home with your mom all the time? I'm like, no, why are you doing this to me? I legit had a full quarter life crisis in that moment. And thank God for my friend at the time, too. We're not friends right now, but when we were friends, he told me, you know, you could actually teach English. So I was like, teach English? Alright, I'll see about it. So I did my little research. I did an entire Excel spreadsheet and I looked up, you know, like how to teach English in foreign countries. And I remember saying, I don't want to go to Japan. Like, I don't want to go to Japan at all. They just overwork the people. They have long hours. I don't think I want to learn Japanese. Japan was nowhere near on my radar. So I went ahead. I got my entire certificate. There's people watching me. There's people watching me from the road. So this is how I went about coming to Japan. So after I did my research, I went to the TEFLacademy.com and I signed up for the online course which certifies you to teach English as a foreign language. It took me all of 6 weeks, but for some reason I just like doubted myself. I was like, am I really going to go somewhere new, somewhere foreign that I don't even know the language, I don't even know the culture? So I was kind of bracing. And then you know what happened? I got like my dream job in advertising, and 2 months in, I was like, I hate this job. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the people, but I hated the job. It was really stressful, and I was like, I just don't think that advertising is a career for me anymore. So I ended up resigning from the job. I just had to move on. Like, I had to make an entire career change for myself, even though I had built 8, nearly 9 years of my life into advertising. I was like, it's just time to make the change. So I sent out my resume in September, and within 8 weeks I was accepted to teach English. After 3 interviews, 2 background checks, 2 reference letters, and 2 health checks, I was able to be eligible to teach English in Japan. And I was like so happy about it, because honestly I felt like I couldn't do much in Trinidad. I had applied for the past 2 or 3 years to be a teacher, and I was still on the waiting list to be reviewed, and it only took me 8 weeks to become a teacher over here. Well, to become eligible to come over here to be a teacher. Like, you see the difference. And it's not that I'm encouraging a brain drain or anything, but definitely you should go where the opportunities take you. And even though this job is paying me twice as much as I would have made in my last job, it's not all about the money. It really isn't, because I used to be a tutor before. Shout out to my previous students, Jessica and Christy. I miss you girls. But tutoring them showed me that I really did like teaching, and I thought that this could be a whole new opportunity for me, especially because I applied to be a teacher in Trinidad anyway. I was like, yeah. And not to mention, my mom and uncles are teachers. I'm like, yes, it runs in my blood. I'm made for this. And so, boom, I'm here in Japan. And I have no regrets. I mean, yes, I'm here in the middle of a pandemic, but who isn't? Right? Who isn't? Definitely not you. But before I go, I want to teach you all a little Japanese. I don't know if this will be a regular thing, but let's see. So, today's phrase is O namae wa nan desu ka? And that means, what is your name? And the response would be, Watashi no namae wa Benado Gabriella des. Because in Asia, they put the last name first. So for everyone, you know, wondering about Kim Jong-un and Kim Jong-il, it's not that all of their names are Kim. That's just their last name. Oh my gosh, it was such a pleasure making this video. I'm so glad I'm back to making YouTube videos. Most of my content will mostly be like lifestyle stuff in Japan, probably model stories, crazy work stories, I don't know. But you'll be hearing from me probably on a monthly basis. So until next time, later.